Good morning. This is live with Jamie and Jack here in Lake of the Ozarks.
And who are you?
At Kellerway. I'm Jack. This is Jamie. And we're doing this every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time from beautiful Lake of the Ozarks, Keller Williams, the Ben Kenny team. And we're going to talk about events at the lake, world events, things about the lake. Please like us at the bottom of the page. The first thing we're going to talk about some world events. I heard Tiger Woods won the tournament. Is that possible?
Oh, wasn't that cool?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Man.
I heard about it.
They released yesterday that 22% of all TVs that were on were watching that Sunday morning.
Really?
22%.
I heard it. We were somewhere and I didn't. I wasn't my TV. Sorry.
Well, your TV's never on.
You're right. My TV's never on. We don't watch TV. I work all the time. Today, like moving furniture all morning. Anyway, so some other things we want to talk about are some local events. This coming weekend on Friday and Saturday is Easter weekend. The activities over at Margaritaville Lake Resort. They're going to do a bunch of stuff with the Easter Bunny and
Have you been over there
brunch.
lately?
No, have you?
Yeah, it's crazy. They've completely remodeled that place, ready for Margaritaville. I don't remember the name of the pool that's down, Shark something or Pool Shark, but I've never been over there. We're going to take the kids over there.
Yeah, I heard a couple people I know. They said it's phenomenal the work they've done, and I know they've redone it. My son-in-law has been over there painting for the last year.
Really?
So they've done a massive overhaul, and it's supposed to be really neat.
I've talked to a couple of our homeowners over there, and their rentals have actually gone up. Since they've done stuff, and I think we have 3 or 4 listings over there now.
We have 3 and 2 of them are the ones my client. We had 5.
You're 3 of your clients.
3 of my the 2 rentals. I'm saying that they rent all the time, and he said he is rented every weekend in his 4 buildings all the way through August. He's got like 2 weekends opened out of 4 buildings. So it's been really phenomenal over there for the rentals with the Margaritaville brand. But it's something to look forward to, and look forward to going over there and seeing it. And also on Saturday is the 4th annual egg drop. They drop in Camdenton at the First Assembly Church. 11 a.m. a plane flies over and drops 5,000 Easter eggs. And it's free. And I guess you pick up the eggs, and there's stuff, I'm guessing, hidden in the eggs. And, maybe there's bunny rabbits in the eggs. Maybe there's...
Will they be cracked?
I hope they're not real eggs. Real eggs they could maybe fry them on the sidewalk then. I don't know. Who knows? And also Lake Ozark Speedway that opened back up about a year or 2 ago, and they're opening the season up this Saturday. Is it Saturday? This Saturday, which is right between the lake and Eldon on 54. Really neat speedway. I think it's a quarter-mile dirt track. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Quarter-mile
dirt track.
Dirt track, isn't it? Yeah, quarter-mile dirt track, which is. If you haven't seen dirt racing on stock cars and midgets and stuff like that, it's really worth seeing. They're really fun to watch.
Remember when we used to go to the Chicagoland Speedway?
Yep. Watch NASCAR and IndyCar. Yeah. We used to go there every year when I lived up north.
That was fun.
Yeah. Oh, we had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd come up and fall asleep.
I was really interested in that.
Yeah.
Just the food and the beer. That's all you got out of me.
Jamie'd come and have a few drinks, and I'd say, come on up top of the trailer and watch the start of the race. He'd come up there, and then Jamie'd go find somewhere and rest. And then I'd tell him, come on up to the top of the trailer and watch the end of the race.
That's all that matters, the beginning and the end.
The beginning and the end. Absolutely. And down at the lake, the real estate market has been really crazy lately. It's been pretty busy. We have, how many new listings?
We got 113 listings at the lake this last week, with 85 going under contract this week. So, for this time of year, that's a pretty impressive number that we're actually not really gaining much inventory. That's all lots and farms and houses and everything. So, we probably next week we should run a number of actually how many houses are going under contract versus how many houses.
Houses and condos. Yeah, that's new listings. That's not how many current listings we have. That's actually listings that people have listed in the last week, 113, and we have 82 under contract. And usually the difference from listings to what goes under contract is usually 2 to 1.
I would say 2 to 1 this time.
It's usually 2 to 1, and it's not even close to that. It's our inventory. In some of our condo complexes, I've had people looking for condos, and there's nothing available, or there's one available. And the one I have one listing that's negotiating right now. There's one condo for sale. It's that one. And the last condo that sold there was 180 days ago, and there's nothing new coming on the market that we know of. And I listened to a couple of guys. There's several other complexes are like that. And some of the reasons are the amount of people coming into the lake. It seems like over the last several months has risen quite a bit.
Well, and I also think, over the last, obviously everyone knows what happened in 2008, and the lake is just slower to recover. And so now we're kind of going through that recovery period that prices are actually kind of going up. We haven't had that for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So sellers have gotten beaten up over the last 4 or 5 years, and now they're actually getting their price.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Somebody asked, in fact, people that I'm working with asked me, well, how are the prices? I said, the prices are starting to go up. I mean, they're not going up like in some areas 10 and 20%, but they are absolutely going up 3, 4, 5, 8%, and some of the little bit more. But for, like Jamie said, for probably 2 years, they were pretty flat. The prices didn't move too much. And we're getting pretty close to that. If list price, we're within normally average 5% or less or over list price. We have a number of contracts now that are going over, that are going into multiple offers. And usually when we end up in a multiple offer situation, which is when the sellers get usually 2 or 3 offers all the same day, and then the selling agent will kick it into what they call multiple offer, and you get one more chance to come back with your best price. And a lot of times they'll go over the listing price. So if it's listed at $200,000, it might even sell for $205 or $210. And that's sometimes something that might have been underpriced a little bit, or just a complex or an area that everybody wants to be in.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that really since the foreclosure days back in 2010 or 12, when you had such cheap houses come on the market and people were kind of rushing to buy them. And not that we're anywhere around foreclosures, but it was just that kind of market. And what happened is a lot of people came down to buy and they didn't buy it, so they left. They never came back.
Correct. And some of those people are coming back now.
Yeah.
Like I said the other day, I had some people that have been looking for several years, and between the market, and I credit a lot of it to the economy, just the spirit of the economy, people having money, and the number of people retiring. Baby boomers, I'm one of them, and there's so many more of us that are retiring, getting to retire early, that have put themselves in a position to be able to find a new house or a lake house or vacation house. So we put all those factors together, and we're considered the #1 vacation place in the Midwest. So the economy here is pretty strong, and it's very reasonable to live. You go from northern Illinois, where the real estate taxes are astronomical, where I used to live, to here, where they're very reasonable. I tell people, you leave northern Illinois and move to here, and you get about a $5,000 to $6,000 raise a year automatically, just between the gas and the real estate tax.
Do you think part of that also is based off of the new businesses that have come here, or the kind of like maybe even the new philosophy here as far as the lakefront bars and restaurants? I mean, you go back 5 years ago, there were no pools on the water or bars with pools on the water. There's Party Cove and whatnot, but it seems like over the last really 2 to 5 years, you have Redhead and Dog Days put their pool in, and there's about 4 or 5 new places, and so there's more things to do here, more reasons to come, more things to do on the water. And you were telling me earlier about the place over at the old Racket Club.
Right. Yeah, there's a new people bought it. It used to be the Racket Club, and now it's called the Regalia Hotel and Conference Center or Convention Center. They've put millions of dollars into it. The restaurant, we were there the other day at the Royal Catch Bar and Grill. And it's very nice. The food was phenomenal.
What kind of food was it? Would I eat it?
Maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had steaks, so you're okay. Steaks and seafood.
I got a text message earlier that we're gonna eat some scones, and I was like, "What the heck's that?" I mean, I thought I said stones. I was like, "We're eating rocks now."
Is that an animal?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
I have a bet out there with one of my friends. I have to eat sushi. I asked them if we could deep fry it, and they told me no, that's not the way it goes. We'll worry about this.
Yeah, we'll go. I want to watch that.
No.
I want to watch that. The other thing we're going to cover are some frequently asked questions, and many people have different questions about buying homes and selling homes, and one of the things that comes up are inspections. And sometimes people say, "Do I have to have an inspection? Should I have an inspection?" when you're buying real estate is when the inspections mainly come in. As a seller, you can do an inspection and have it pre-inspected, and so you have that ready. So if there are things wrong that need to be addressed, it's not a bad way. A lot of times sellers don't do that, but it's not a bad idea. We absolutely recommend and tell buyers to do inspections. And when inspections happen, they go in and they check the mechanicals, they check.
Radon's becoming a new thing down here. I mean, not inspections.
Yeah, they do in the inspection. They'll do a radon inspection, a termite inspection. If it doesn't have a city type sewer and water system, they'll go in and they'll do well and septic inspections.
Every once in a while, they do mold inspection.
If it looks like we need to do a mold inspection, they will read that. What say it? Tell me.
Any crazy inspection stories down here at the lake?
Crazy inspection stories.
I try to forget them.
I'm trying to think if I've ever heard any. I
don't think the inspection part gets really crazy. It's obviously a very tense time because sellers have some emotion with their house, and we just have to remember that the inspector works for the buyer. I mean, his job is to go find something wrong with it. Same way you're going to take your car to an auto mechanic. They're not going to just look at it and say, "Oh, it's good," because they got their name on the line. So.
I mean, some of the inspectors I've heard, having the wasp nest or hornet's nest and getting stung and things like that. But I'm sure inspectors could have some interesting stories of different things they've ran into in houses. Jamie's run into some interesting things in houses at different times when showing houses and looking at houses. When there's holes in ceilings and attics and.
I'm trying to remember one. I don't.
And ropes and ladders.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's some crazy stuff down here.
Yeah. But back to inspections. It's very important to do inspections as a buyer, and as a seller, it is not a bad idea because then you find out what's going on before. And a lot of times the inspections get done. It's halfway through the deal, and somebody will want new plugs, new outlets, new roof. All kinds of things, and a deal will get pretty tense real fast when a buyer wants all kinds of stuff and the seller is not interested in doing anything. So then it gets a little tense sometimes.
Well, because we have the second home market, so a lot of times sellers don't know there's a problem because they're not here all the time.
Correct.
And then you have, it's almost a second negotiation. So when the seller thinks they're done negotiating and the buyer's ready to negotiate a little bit more. It's just pretty common. It's when you're not here all the time, or as a buyer, you're not here to fix it because it's the second home.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you have any questions about inspections, give us a call, me or Jamie, or call the Ben Kenny team, or me or Jamie. And Jamie, the main number at our office number is
573-348-9898.
And text us, email us. If you like us, at the bottom of the page, message.
There's two S's.
Okay, message us through Facebook. But yeah, if you have questions, please ask us. And another thing we're going to cover in this little event we're doing here every Wednesday are the must-sees at the lake. There's so many things here. Every day I almost find something new because we always are running around listening to people, talking to people as realtors. There's still roads. I've been here for 10 years and coming here all my life, since the 60s. And there's still roads I go down I never knew existed. And we go down the road and there's another restaurant, another bar, another a whole group of houses that I never knew was there.
A zebra?
A zebra? There you go. Yeah, there you go. A zebra, you go down to one road and there's out off of Old
Towering Oaks?
Yeah.
Towering
Oaks off of Old Road. There's a whole area that has
emus
and I think they had ostriches there, emus, all kinds of exotic animals. You just drive down. First time I went down that road, I'm looking and I'm like, there's a buffalo and a zebra running through the field. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But it's something that you can ride by. I don't think they do tours over there or anything like that.
No, I really don't know what it is.
I don't either. We should find out.
Yeah.
That's your job to find out. She don't see me pointing at her. Anyway, but yeah, some of the must-sees. One of the biggest attractions you'll start with that people talk about all the time here is Ha Ha Tonka. For the people that know what Hahatonka is, they've seen it, but it is a phenomenal place. It's a house type castle that was built in the 40s, 30s.
I think it was a little bit before
Yeah,
that.
and then it was built. A family built it. A gentleman built it for him and his wife, and then it burned. And there's a whole history story about the family and what they did there, and the spring that's below it, and the place. Yes.
We have a question from a viewer. What's the number one place to eat at the lake?
Depends on what kind of food you want. You want the great steaks. The place I just ate at had great steaks. Michael's Steak Chalet, Bentley's, Hooks, all great places. It depends on where you want to be. The views are spectacular. Michael's Steakhouse just did a phenomenal remodel job, put in a winery. As far as on the water, right now, I'll tell you, between Redhead, Backwater Jacks, Dog Days, which I'm missing one.
New
in there.
Margarita.
I haven't made there yet, but and I'm saying water bars.
I mean, I like
Strictly
Mil-
water.
I like
and-
Miller's Landing.
But I'm saying, Shorty Pants, Miller's Landing. You know, there's so many of them, but they've all. But trying to say all the water bars, and I can go on, and we'll try and list them. We might even try and go to some of them and do some interviews. But they have all stepped up their game because as one went in and they put in fancier food, the other one has. I mean, even at the one. Couple of them, they have Asian grills with sushi and Asian type dishes at their pools, and they have the big pools. You know, we talked about Party Cove earlier, and
Coconuts.
That's
That's
another
nice.
one. Yes, and as I said, we're not trying to. There's so many of them; it'd take us a half an hour to list them all. There's about 50 of them on the water.
The thing about them, though, isn't necessarily always like the best place to eat. It's more like what kind of atmosphere you like, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like Jolly Rogers is big and open air and band and typically really loud, but then you go to Coconuts and it's just a big pool and you eat in the pool. I kind of like that.
And then you go to Miller's, and Miller's is a small, quaint little place, great food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or then you go to Captain Ron's, and they've got beaches and volleyball and bars and all kinds of things. Some are more geared to families, you know, and then there's the frogs, Frankie and Louie's, because you know that Frankie and Louie's, that's the frogs' names from Budweiser.
Yep.
Okay, Frankie and Louie's, they have a beach, and they're sort of geared to help for more a little bit
Yeah,
for
it's
kids.
kid-friendly. I've been down there.
Where Captain Ron's, they have more outdoor volleyball, and you get more of the little bit older crowd.
What's that
younger,
pizza place
younger
you
than me.
took us to on the water? I think it's
Papa
over-
Chubby's. No, that's not pizza.
We had pizza there.
They had pizza. Papa
Yeah.
Chubby's got Chicago style beef sandwiches
Where's that
and
at?
great pizza. Papa Chubby's is on F8, but it's
No,
it's a
no.
cove straight across from Tantera.
We went by boat, remember?
Right, wait, it's a cove straight across from Tantera. That's one of them.
Yeah.
Margaritaville.
Is it pretty flat? Is it flat?
Yes.
Okay,
Beach,
like
got
a
a
big,
beach.
big, long.
Yeah, big
building?
long
Okay.
camp. Yes, yes.
There's a big
I-
group of us that went. I can't remember where.
Yeah, I don't know. We've gone to so many places, so we gotta start doing that. New things you've done this week. We talked about Regalia. We talked about must see is Hahatonka. It's a great place to hike. Started that. And we went down a rabbit hole somewhere.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's a state park.
it's a
Hahatonka
big state park. Unbelievable place to go hiking and seeing things and watching the scenery of the boats coming in. You get up on top of the castle and look down, and there's the big spring and cove that comes in. It's a really, really neat place to be.
The dam itself is interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
There's so many places.
You know, and that's going back to even what Don said, going back to the academy down here. Think how much the dam has changed over the last 3 years or 4 years.
The
I
strip
mean,
and that.
yeah, I mean, the strip and all those places down there. I mean, if you go back 4 or 5 years ago, it was kind of dead at night. And I don't care what weekend it is now, you can't find a parking place down there. I mean, middle of January, snow, and it's just packed. It's
Yes.
shocking.
And there's a lot of new bars, even out off the strip and up off the water. You know, so we're gonna get into more of those coming up here in the next few weeks. We promise. So don't get mad at us. Yes.
And another viewer
Yes.
question. Are there tours you can take around the lake, like a tour boat?
There are
A celebrity.
There
Yeah.
are some bigger, the celebrities and the tropic isle boats. They're bigger, like mini cruise ships.
But not
That
for
do-
just civilians?
Yeah, but yeah, you
Yeah.
can go on there on some days during the week. I don't remember what days it is. We'll have to get that schedule. The tropical isle runs a certain day of the week, and it's a few bucks, and you go and they go down part of the lake.
Okay.
And then the bigger ones, they do the same thing.
They're almost
They
like
have.
dinner cruise.
Like some of them do a dinner cruise, some of them do different options, and then there's also the helicopter tours. That if you really want to see the lake, the way to see it is by helicopter.
I
Yes.
have another question from Mr. Andy Gibson. Are you concerned about how backed up local builders are right now? Will this bring in unqualified contractors?
I was at a BNI meeting yesterday morning, and there were three contractor people there, a plumber, a builder, and a landscaping guy, and all three of them are begging for people. They are so swamped, they don't want to answer their phone. They are very backed up, and yes, be very careful because there people are just begging to get stuff done, and there are people out there, many people here at the lake are very good at what they do, and unfortunately, there are many people at the lake that try to do some things and they aren't quite up to the standards you might want. So you got to be very careful.
That's one great thing about our team is, I've been down here long enough that we've vetted a lot of the people that we use. So, I mean, our clients get people that we've actually used or had other clients use or whatever, and we've vetted them over, 10, 15 years.
Right. So but some of the friends of mine that are contractors, I've seen them recently, and they're swamped. And the good thing is, because of the relationships we have, I can usually get somebody in for an emergency. I mean, if somebody wants a house built, they're going to be waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
One last question before we wrap it up for the evening. Are boats easy to find to do daily rentals for all of the tourists coming down for this season?
Yes. There's
Yes.
lots of boat rental companies.
A lot of boat rental, and we'll go into some of them here, and we might even go to one of them and do an interview with some of the people from the boat company.
Anything
But
from
yes.
small pontoon boats that you can actually rent a $2 million yacht if you wanted to.
Good, yeah. Usually comes with captain because
No.
they usually don't let you take the $2
You
million
think
boat.
that's private?
No. But anyway, please like us down at the bottom of the page. Like our page. We'll be here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. It's going to be me and Jamie, or
Central
Jamie
time.
and me, Central Time, or maybe Josh is going to join in, or one of the girls. We're going to try and find some special guests. So if you want to be a special guest, send us a message, and we might let you come in. We promise we won't embarrass you too much. Anything else?
No.
Nope. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching. Tune in next Wednesday, 11 a.m.